American slaves whose homeland was an ocean away built this plantation house in Ferguson in 1852. Originally occupied by a white army officer and his family, Wildwood Plantation is now owned and being restored by descendants of slaves.
And when I first came to Wildwood Plantation, it was the air here that drew us in. And then when we found out it was built by slaves, we were like, we just got to have this building.
Wildwood's first owner was Major Joseph Lamont. He graduated from West Point in 1827 and fought in the Mexican-American War. After the war, he bought more than a square mile of land in what is now part of Ferguson. With slave labor, he built the house and became a farmer.
He and his wife, Ellen, and it was probably Ellen's money because she was a member of the very extensive Melanphy clan here in St. Louis. She was a daughter of Jane and Charles Chambers, who built Tidenoye, another historic house that is still preserved on the grounds of McClure High School.
Architectural historian Esley Hamilton is working with the home's current owner to place Wildwood on the National Register of Historic Places.
The house is Italianate in style. Here in the St. Louis area, the more typical kind of Italianate house was a large rectangular building, almost cubical in massing, and that's the kind of Italianate house that this represents. There's a pattern that goes through the brackets, the balusters, and even the fan light over the front door that is all coordinated in style, and that makes this house very unusual even for that period.
Motorists who drive past the house, located on Dames Court, see what was originally the rear entrance. In researching Wildwood Plantation, Barrietta Killiebrew discovered other changes made over the years.
There used to be part of the house extended this way, and if you can see there used to be doors. So you would actually come out of a door and step into another room right in here, which is now a small courtyard.
So what happened to those rooms? Why were they torn down?
Well, one of the previous owners actually tore down 5 bedrooms of the house. And prior to that, some slaves were burnt up in a fourth of the house that was torn down.
There is a balm in Gilead.
This is the drawing room. This is the area where they would gather like a normal family room and sit down and talk about the evening events and the war stories and what was going on.
Mm-hmm. And you're still using it for sitting room now?
Yes, we are. We're actually using this room right here for a family room.
What kind of shape was it in initially?
Now, initially, this is the room that had the hardest wallpaper to get off. And I mean, it was dated back, like I say, 65 to 70-year-old wallpaper. And it took a lot of time and effort to get the wallpaper off in this particular room.
In decorating Wildwood, Killiebrew and her mother blended European antiques and reproductions with Afrocentric pictures and accents. Back in the days when the original owner had it, this was probably where the family ate, where slaves served them?
That's exactly right. This would have been the room, the dining room.
What does it feel like now to be the mistress of this house and for you to be sitting at this table?
It feels so spooky and strange. I'm at odds with it, but I do not take anything for granted because I think back the way it once was, and it's like everything is almost in reverse.
Killiebrew says she spent more money than she cares to mention on repairs and restorations. On a scale of 1 to 10, she says the house rated a 3 when she took possession in 1998. Much more work remains to be done, and more cash needs to be shelled out. But if Wildwood makes the National Register, Killiebrew will be eligible for a state tax credit on the project.
Missouri has the largest number of tax credit rehabilitation projects of historic buildings of any state in the country. And even in terms of dollar amount, it's approaching leading the nation. So that's quite a compliment to all the people who've been working in the last few years to take advantage of these credits.
Once upon a time when this house wasn't surrounded by all these smaller homes, you could probably see.
In the valley, yes.
Barrietta Killiebrew bought Wildwood to convert into a bed and breakfast. But now she's thinking about hosting meetings and conducting educational tours here.
We are here to bring in a vision to encourage others, black, white, Preserve the older buildings. Don't just tear them down.
There is a